Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, everybody can hear me? Yes, please. Schools, you can hear all right? Perfect. Well, welcome to the second debate in the series, this year's series of school debates run by the Rotary Club of Calvia International, as you can see from the various banners behind you. Thank you again very much to all the volunteers who have helped make this possible. This debate is between the BIC and Queen's. The subject matter is religion no longer affects people's daily lives. Your judges for today will be Alison Tong, who is the spokesperson for the jury, David Tittle and Izzy Newman. Yeah. As throughout the debates this season, Julie will be the timekeeper and the controller. She is the person that will be running the debates. Yes. Now, there is only, I'm sure you've been well taught by your teachers, but there is only one change for this format in the normal rules, and that is you have the red cards for points of information. If a speaker has a point of information to answer, in order to compensate for the time to get up to the microphone, the speaker has another 15 seconds to speak over and above your 5 minutes. The maximum is 30 seconds. So if a speaker is interrupted by 1 point of information, he has another 15 seconds, making it 5 minutes and 15 seconds. The maximum is an extra 30 seconds. Having said all that, I don't think there is anything further. I wish both teams the best of luck and an excellent debate. Julie, over to you.
Hi, good morning, teams. Can we have our first speaker? And can I make it clear to both teams? I will ask you if you're ready, and then I'll sound the start bell. So do not start before I sound the bell, otherwise the timing's out. So, are you ready? Speaker, are you ready? Hello? Can we hear your voice? Okay, right, ready, go.
I'm looking nervous, and we will be for the motion today.
I think you need to stand closer to the mic, speaker. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hi. I'm looking nervous, and my team and I will be for the motion. This is Connor. He will be talking about personal life and your social life and how it's not affected by religion anymore. And James will be talking about how religion affected our life in the past and how it no longer does anymore. I'll be talking about how religion does not affect your working life, your marriages, or your education. So if I was still affected by religion, I would not be reading this debate or even be in school today. As Muslims, Christians, and many religions forbid women from getting an education or having the right to work. If this was still the case, female teachers, students, jury, and all women around the globe would not be educated or have a job opportunity. Clearly, this is not the case anymore, as we have majorly evolved.
We seem to have lost the picture.
Right. Clearly, this is not the case anymore, as we have majorly evolved. Of course, these rules against women education would be applied in countries which are heavily influenced by religion and are quite conservative. However, even those countries like Indonesia, which has the most population of Muslims, has the same amount of girls and boys in schools. And a lot of Arab countries and Middle East countries have a lot of girls, which make up most of the school. Now, there is obviously much clear success outside the Arab world. However, since this is such a big issue in their culture, and it says in the Quran that women should be lower than the men and should not have the right to a full education as the man should, it clearly shows that we have evolved from there. and women are now allowed to do exactly as men do, and that we are not affected by religion in our education and the rights that we have to obtain education. My second point is that religion no longer affects our daily school life and school.
You have a point of information?
How can you say it doesn't affect people's lives when the rules that we follow and abide to were created by religious people?
Created by religious people.
Yeah.
If they would be, then we would not be in school right now. You, me, and all the females around me would not be in school because their rule, if we focus on Muslims, it says that we are not allowed to get an education. We don't have the rights. So if that would be the case, then we wouldn't be allowed to be here right now. All right, so the Butler Act of 1925 made it illegal for Darwin's theory of evolutions to be taught. So that means that every American had to be taught the theory of Adam and Eve, if you were Christian or not. However, in 1965, the law was removed, and since then, we have the freedom to teach scientific theories such as Darwin's, and we are no longer affected by that. Yeah?
What about the countries where they still favor religion over scientific belief? Do you not think they're taken into account? Or religion still affects people's daily lives?
If they favor it, then that's the country's school, but we're still allowed to search it up and still allowed to hear from other people in the past. It was illegal to speak about it outside of school or even to search it up or speak about it on radio. Anyone that would be held against it in court and would have to testify. However, since we have a freedom of speech and we're allowed to learn anything we want to, if you're taught it, we can still search it up and learn it on our own time, which shows that we're not affected by it. When it comes to religion and work environments, the Civil Rights Law of 1965 prohibits any religious discrimination and protects religious people from having issues in the workspace. Because in the past, Jews would be working in one area and Christians would be working in another. For example, when Hitler was around in Germany, Jews were not allowed to work in the same shops or same companies, or even be allowed to enter a Christian shop or store. However, this has changed now, and we are allowed to all work together, and we can find different people of different religions working in the same company or the same district. And clearly this shows that religion no longer affects what jobs you're allowed to work in, where you're allowed to be. Yeah.
What if in your workplace or the school, another student or another...
Sorry, you've gone past the point of being able to ask. Carry on, Svitla. It's the final bell.
So
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Can you not hear the bell properly? Can you hear it now? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. It wasn't close enough. Okay, can we have our second speaker, please? Andre. Are you ready, Andre?
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Andre, and today my team and I are against the motion, which is religion no longer affects people's daily lives. At first, it is important to understand what religion is. Religion involves the following 4 elements. 1, believing. 2, bonding. 3, behaving. 4, belonging. Said this, 84% of the world population claims to be religious. 2.5 billion are Christian. 2 billion are Muslim. Another 1.2 billion believe in Hinduism. There are actually about 4,300 religions all over this world. So surely, religion does affect daily life. Religion does affect our society. religion does impact us in many ways. Surely, the opposition will be stating that more and more people are less dependent on religion, that education and science are the new alternatives, that daily laws like the acceptance of same-gender marriages show that our current generation has taken a step away from religion and has established its own free and new society. But that is not so. September 11th,
You have a point of
2001.
interest?
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Like we're starting to take a step away from religion. Well, if we're taking a step away from religion, then how does it affect our lives then?
I couldn't hear anything.
I think you need to step closer to the mic, please.
You've said that religion, like from the newer generations, are taking a step away from religion. And you're saying that like we're kind of like backing away from it. Well, then how does it affect our lives? You're kind of like defeating your own point.
Well, I said that many people believe in religion, and that if 80% of the world population are religious, then surely belief does affect our daily lives. September 11th, 2001, the most deadly coordinated terrorist attack in the world, with over 3,000 fatalities and 25,000 injuries, all caused by the Al-Qaeda terrorist group who claim to be Islamic. More recently, in 2017, an Islamist extremist suicide bomber killed 23 people and injured another 800 people during Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester. In New Zealand, 50 people were killed in the mosque shootings in 2019, adding once again to the death toll due to religious terrorism. Only last week, 3 people in a church with their throats cut died in the Nice knife attack. Now, I'm not saying that Islam is a warlike religion, but it is vital to understand that even those minorities of extremists who do act radically under their personal interpretations of the Quran have a massive impact on our daily lives. Similarly, on August 15, 1998, Ireland, the Catholic and the Protestant conflict resulted in 29 deaths and 200 casualties. Historically, the clash of these two Christian religions resulted in 3,000 deaths.
You have a point of interest?
And the political division of Ireland and Northern Ireland that still exists today. Yes.
You're talking about terrorist attacks and how many people were killed, but this could have been any person who's not religious and it wouldn't be in your speech. Just because they killed someone and someone had those intentions does not mean that the whole religious group affects your everyday life.
Yes, but I'm talking about the biggest cases of terrorism that happened in the past 20 years, and they're all caused mostly by Islam terrorist groups who are religious because they interpret the Quran.
Isn't that putting a stereotype on that religion and saying because those are Muslims, they are most likely to give terrorist attacks and everything? That if they wouldn't be Muslim, despite their religion, if they'd be Christian, they could still be able to do the same thing.
Yes, but I just mentioned facts that for the past 20 years.
You have a final minute.
Religion clearly does affect our lives and the world we live in, and it is futile to deny that. Now, religion does not only affect people in negative ways. Religious terrorism, after all, is only practiced by extremist minorities who interpret their beliefs in different ways. The majority of the people, in fact, do believe in the good, in the right and the wrong, and in the well-being that religion brings us. The core message of any religion essentially refers to inner peace and love towards the others. Following from this, there are hundreds of churches, synagogues, mosques, and many other religious institutions that contribute enormous sums to charities. The church in San Ponza, only a few kilometers away from here, has raised 150,000 euros from its congregation to refurb the church and to provide teaching facilities for the local area. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can we have Connor, please. BIC, we can no longer see your team, by the way. You need to come down a bit rather than up.
Restore.
Oh, then we can't see your speaker. Okay, take it up a bit, sorry. There we go, that's about right. Okay, are you ready, Connor? Yes?
I will be talking about
Connor, we can't hear you. You need to speak up, please.
Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
That's better.
So, first of all, it is a criminal offense to attack someone because of their religion or beliefs or because of their lack of religion. This includes both physical and verbal abuse. When someone is committing a criminal offense, they can stir up hatred of a particular religious group. For example, if they publish or distribute racist information or religious information against that religion. In one of these criminal offenses, it is committed against your family, you should obviously report to police. So you are protected by law against discrimination against other people if you're in a religion and like if you belong to an organized religion such as Christianity or Islam or those other religions, then obviously you're protected by discrimination and everything. So if you also think about it, like in yeah.
Aren't you contradicting yourself? You said that religion has some racist ideas, but that means that religion does affect our daily lives.
I said that that if you are in a religion, you can be protected by all forms of discrimination, including racism. Yeah.
You say you're protected from discrimination right now, because I believe that nowadays, even if you're protected by discrimination, you can get discriminated either way.
That's kind of irrelevant because people's opinions will still happen. So.
Point of information.
Yeah.
What about the many women in Islam who are mistreated due to religious beliefs?
Wait, sorry, can you?
Doesn't this affect their daily lives? What about the women in Islam who are mistreated daily? Doesn't this affect their daily lives?
Well, no, it doesn't really because they're not treated like that anymore. All women have rights to go get a job and go get an education. So,
But it still does affect them.
Greens, I think you're interrupting a bit too much at the moment.
Can I continue? So if you think about it, like in our day-to-day lives, when you go to a store, for example, all the people around the store, you're surrounded by people with different religions. When in the past, they would be segregated, whole neighborhoods would be segregated, nations are segregated. But because there's no religious barriers anymore, for example, like whole nations can come together like the EU, despite all the different countries that make up the EU and all the religious differences, they can still come together and work together. So I think that because the whole nations can come together, people can mix around in different groups of people and there's no disputes at all, then there is no like religious discrimination at all because we've evolved so much from the past and all the conflicts that have happened that we just have learned to kind of step up from there and evolve. So we don't really have any.
You have another point of interest?
Sorry, but I think that you're only talking about the modern world. You aren't really addressing all the countries where religion still does affect daily lives through discrimination. What about Islam and all of those countries?
Yeah, but we're living in a modern world. I can't talk about the past because it's already happened. It's kind of irrelevant. Continuing my point about the modern world, if you go to a restaurant, for example, waiters they're not allowed to not serve you because based on your religion or what they think your religion might be. And besides, they even cater towards all religious differences. So for example, like Muslims have certain rules saying that they can't eat certain meats, so restaurants can cater to that and kind of make it easier for them. And also, anyway,
You have 1 minute. You have 1 more minute.
So the EU is made up of 27 different countries. And in those 27 different countries, there are, as you said, I think you said there were like over 4,000 religions. So within those countries, there's going to be a whole bunch of religions between all of them. And if you look at the EU is doing pretty well at the moment. And there's no religious disputes between any of the countries and the governments right now. So that kind of just proves our point, that saying that if whole nations can get together and they don't have any religious disputes, then there really can't be any religious disputes between them, because there just is nothing. Like if you look between, for example, if you look between like all the different countries and everything, there's so much going on and there's so many differences between all the countries, but despite all the differences, they can still all work together. So
Okay, thank you, speaker. So now we have Maria. Hi, Maria, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Good morning. My name is Maria. My team and I are against the motion, which is religion no longer affects people's daily lives. Morality. What is right and what is wrong? What or who defines it? Today, I'll prove to you that morality and religion are and have been inextricably linked throughout history, causing religion to affect us all on a daily basis. When someone asks, is this right? Am I doing the right thing? We automatically know the response. However, why is this? How do we know how to distinguish what's right from wrong? How do we know how to base our decisions which affect our daily life? I believe religion is the main cause of this. Religious ideas have affected society in a sense of morality which stops society from breaking down. Even if you're not religious, religion impacts human behavior indirectly in every aspect of our lives by having to live by those codes, morals, and rules, which were set in stone thousands of years ago by the
You have a
Christian
point of
religion.
interest?
Except,
You're talking about, hold on, I have this up.
pardon?
You're talking about how religion affects, like, makes you think what's right or wrong, but doesn't that depend on how you're brought up? If you're brought up in a more like open environment, or if you're brought up in America or Southern Eastern or somewhere else, you would believe that some things are right and other things are wrong. Because now to this day, you have different atheist groups with beliefs that different things are right and different things are wrong. So you can't say that it's mainly just based on the religion.
Right, but thousands of years ago, every single person were taught on religious-based ideas. So that passed down, and it's a never-ending chain, which in the end of the day, at least one of your morals will be affected by religion. Thank you. It is, of course, the 10 Commandments. For example, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, or thou shalt not steal, and so on. All these, even though written thousands of years ago, still live and remain in our society, and we abide by them because they're the moral compass which we live by. We may not realize that our actions are directed by religion. Just think for a moment of a decision that you made recently, and that you didn't know if it was right or wrong. However, hopefully, you took the correct path. But this is because most of us have been educated by what religion has taught our forebears about morality and values. My second point is a direct intervention of religion. Without even realizing it, religion affects our society daily. A place of worship in any religion is the center of the community that it represents. The bringing together of like-minded people within the community to join together and work for the common good. From hosting food banks for all the people in need, to helping the homeless and providing them with a hot meal, as well as liaising with local social services to provide support whether it may be needed. I think this clearly shows how religion impacts daily on our everyday lives. Furthermore, the Christian Church created the Salvation Army, an international organization that is known for its humanitarian work in over 100 different countries all around the world. As well, we have the Islamic organizations that helped and raised over $130 million around the world to support over 8 million people in 2019. Or, take as an example, the American Jewish World Center that invests nearly $34 million every year to promote global human rights. In the recent COVID lockdowns, one of the most common searches on Google was for religion services. Many Christian churches, along with Jewish synagogues or Muslim mosques, broadcast their services online for any and all to view. Far away from people shying away from religion, now people work and still
Interest?
accept.
We're talking about money that was raised in these churches, but how does that affect our life every day? If they raise money or not, that's typically whether their religion is good for our society or not, but we're talking about if it affects us.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Can you repeat it?
Started speaking about how money was raised, how America raised a lot of money for different churches. So
Sorry, she can no longer accept.
Oh, well, what I meant is that with the money that they collect, they help all people all around the world, causing an impact on their daily life. As I was saying, far from people shying away from religion, people were and still actually are now gravitating towards it. Because in this changing world that we live in, we find ourselves, religion provides a sense of community, brings comfort and structure to our daily lives. For all these reasons, I believe that religion does affect our daily lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I believe we've got James next.
Are you okay?
Are you ready, James? Can we just test we can hear you?
Hello.
Hello, speak up.
Yeah. You hear me?
Okay.
What is religion or belief discrimination? This is when you are treated differently because of your religion or belief, or lack of religion or belief. In one of the situations covered by the Equality Act, the treatment could be one of action or as a result of a rule or policy. It does not have an intentional to be unlawful. A religious war or holy war is a war primarily caused or justified by differences in religion. In the modern period, debates are common over the extent to which religious, economic or ethnic aspects of conflict in a given war. To understand why my point is valid, you have to look at the history of the religions, as such as religious events that went down, such as the Holocaust, Muslims being sent to concentration camps, etc. All these events involve religious feud. The Holocaust, also known as the Zohar, was in the World War II genocide of European Jews between 1941 and 1945 across Germany occupied Europe, Nazi Germany. And
You have a point of interest?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about the Holocaust? That is Second World War. That is not daily lives.
Because I'm saying about how it's changed from the past to now. So in our present day, we don't have such things of terror and stuff like that. Yeah, another point of information.
Yeah. Don't you agree that nowadays there's still conflicts and wars caused by religion?
Sorry?
Don't you agree that nowadays there's still conflicts and wars caused by religion?
No, I agree with religious wars. That happened in the past, not in our present day. And systematically murdered some 6 million Jews, around 2/3 of the Europe's Jews population. The Holocaust was a terrible event, what happened in the era of World War, but it wasn't caused by war. Ruthless dictator Adolf Hitler hated Jews for many reasons. There are many estimates that he hated them for money, but that is debatable. In our modern life, the majority of people in Europe are equal. This has been mentioned in order to realize how dramatic the changes are and how...
You have a point of interest?
Yeah.
I mean, you said people in Europe are equal, but what about the terrorist attacks? You had a few days ago in Vienna, you had religious terrorism again. How's that equal?
I'm talking about the equality in Europe, how our modern life in Europe. How intensely different not long ago to how it is now. There's no concentration camps, there's no re-educating people to their beliefs. Religion equality means treating all religions the same: Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Muslims, and Jews, as well as other beliefs within each of them. However, religious establishments necessarily carries privileges with it, and that cannot be affordable uniformly. These principles came into direct conflict in recent debate in the House of Lords. That's all I have now.
I'm sorry, you're finishing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can we have our final speaker, Victor, please? Can we just check we can hear you, Victor?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Okay, we can begin.
Good morning, my name is Victor, and today I will be debating against today's motion that religion no longer affects daily lives. The law, what determines our everyday lives and the way in which we live. Our societies depend on legal institutions. However, what if I were to tell you that religion is the puppet master of the law? Religion has once and even still plays a crucial role in the laws which are implemented globally. Historically, our leaders have been religious, and it is they who have set the base of the law and what our laws are built upon today. Laws which were set a few hundred years ago still play a crucial role nowadays. The constitutions and rulebooks of our societies were written in a time where religion was the center of the world. Their ideology impacts our day-to-day life through the laws which have been passed down through time. Therefore, how can the opposing team or anyone say that religion does not affect daily life when the laws we follow are based on religious ideology, except?
You say that those laws were based on religions and everything. Could you give us examples of those laws?
I'm sorry?
Could you give us examples of laws that were passed down from religions and religious basis?
Yes, you're proving my point. The laws which are based on religion have been passed on through time. So therefore, religion still does affect our day-to-day lives.
But which laws?
Such as the laws of thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit crime, thou shalt not commit adultery. These are all present in biblical texts, and they're present in our current constitutions.
So aren't those based on this moral law?
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm sorry, you can't.
For example, take the Constitution of the United States of America. All US constitutions mention godlike figure and religion multiple times. This is because the men who wrote the Constitution were Christians. Their laws were based on religious ideology and beliefs. This does not only go for the United States. All countries once had religious leaders, and it was they who implemented the law. Thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill are all present in our current constitutions. For that reason, religion still does affect our day-to-day lives, as it is embedded into our legal system. I'd like to point out that religion did not only affect laws of the past, but also affects laws of the present. Countries where religion has become more of an obligation rather than a choice base their laws around religion. Allowing religion to affect laws can affect people's freedom of speech and freedom of choice. The moral and ethical codes that religion emphasizes are very beneficial to society. However, this is not the case when problems arise, such as when a woman in a third world country who had no access for contraceptives is tested positive for HIV, or when two young parents who can barely take care of themselves have an unwanted pregnancy because they had no access to any form of family planning, or when two people who are deeply in love cannot express their love due to a centuries-old belief which has affected these same people for centuries, except.
You talked about how different religions, people have different religions, can't really marry, but there is no law, it's not illegal to marry someone that isn't part of your religion. And even if it isn't in your belief, in your religious belief to get an abortion, you're still allowed to do it, and if you do it, you're not excluded or looked down on any sort of way.
I'm sorry, that is really not the case. A lot of people are mistreated and discriminated because of religious ideology, which is completely against abortion and same-sex marriage. Thank you. Religion can affect people's daily lives as a growing influence on religion on law endangers people's freedom of speech and human rights. Religion does affect daily lives, as people in many countries are restricted and to say and feel what they truly believe. Religion is a belief held by certain people, not everyone, meaning that other people have absolutely no right to push this religion onto others. Allowing religion to affect laws forces religion on uninterested parties, affecting their day-to-day life. Religion is no longer looked upon as a tradition or belief. It has become the law. We live in a world that has once and still turns to religion. Our legal systems are built upon religious ideology and religious beliefs. There's no escape from it. The laws you follow today and the laws you will follow tomorrow are based on religious ideology. If the laws we follow are based on religious ideology, does this not mean that it affects our day-to-day lives? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, teams, you've now got 2 minutes to discuss your final argument, and then you will have 2 minutes each side to give it, put it forward. Okay, teams, that's your 2 minutes. BIC, can we have your spokesperson to the mic, please? Are you ready?
Yeah. I want to say that religion does not affect your life because you can choose, you're not forced to be in a religion. You can leave whenever you want to, and you have the freedom of speech, even if it doesn't apply to your rules in your constitution. Such as Victor mentioned that our laws are based on religions, and this was true for the past, as Galileo did get executed because he went against the beliefs and in astronomy. However, the Pope said himself in a speech that you do not have to believe in God, and you can have your own beliefs, and you don't have to follow the rules of the church, as they don't control your whole country. And it will be different for each country, we understand that, as some might be more heavily influenced by religion. But in general, the more liberal countries are not affected by religion. As you walk down every day in the streets, people might be from different religions, but you will still act the same. I'm sure that, Alison, if Kate was a different religion, you would still treat her the same as you treat her now, because it would not affect your view on her, because you've known her for a while. Just because she believes in something that you don't, does not mean that you have to be treated any different way, and that's what applies to our world nowadays.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. Okay, Queen. Your mic's off. Queens, your mic is off.
Excuse me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we'll start again.
So to start, I'd just like to thank the opposing team and the judges for taking part in this debate, even in these quite unexpected times. So first, I'd like to deconstruct the opposing team's ideas and what they put forward. So the first speaker, Lavinia, she mentioned that women now have more rights. However, this is not the case. Countries in Islam still do believe that women are inferior to men due to religious ideology. Religion does still affect people's daily lives, as women in Islam are discriminated due to religion. Then the second speaker mentioned that in the EU, religion does not affect daily lives. However, what about the religious ideology in countries in Islam or in other parts of the world, or in third world countries where people are not treated the same if they have different ideology or belief? The third speaker mentioned that war has no longer happened due to religion. But what about the Israeli-Pakistani conflict? This was a recent war that still is affected by religions. And I'd just like to address some of our points. So I said that the laws from the past still affect the laws of the present. Laws which were made in the past based their ideas on religious ideology, and they're still present nowadays. Maria talked about morality and the way in which religion has allowed us to know what's right and what's wrong. And then Andre talked about how religion affects daily life due to religious terrorism, which is a big thing that affects many people worldwide. Thank you for listening to us today, and
Thank you. Okay, judges, it's over to you.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes, you can now. Okay, the judges have made their decision and they will back now with their reports. Izzy, can you come first, please?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, BIC. Good morning, Queens. Well, a very, very tough and sensitive subject, actually, for both of you. And I thought you all did an incredibly mature approach, fascinating facts and points. And you obviously have worked incredibly hard, and I very much enjoyed it. So I thank you to both schools and all involved. Thank you.
David, you there?
Yeah, good morning. I'd just like again to say many congratulations to both teams. Thank you all for a highly interesting and very thought-provoking debate. A very complex, very broad subject, very hard to address in the amount of time that you had, both to prepare your arguments and to present. So congratulations to all six of you on a fantastic job. Well done.
And now over to Alison, please, for your summing up and announcing, first of all, the best debater and then the winning team.
Right, thanks, Kate. Thanks, Izzy. Thanks, David. Again, I just want to reiterate, well done to both schools. You did an amazing job. These are not easy times. You're in masks, you're using microphones, cameras. It's a very different situation this year, but you did an amazing job and well done for that. These skills that you're learning now to present yourselves in these circumstances, you can only use those as you go forward into life. Excuse me. The subject matter as well was a very interesting and challenging one that you did. All your research and the facts and figures that you presented us with were just fantastic. So thank you both for that. Just a few points. Obviously, we had a few technical issues with BIC. I'm not sure if it's the room you're in or the microphone, but we struggled sometimes to hear all the points that you were making, which was a shame. It did improve as things went on. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe as you stood closer to the mic, but it was just one of those challenging things that perhaps we need to think about for the future. Also for both teams, the points of interest that we had some that were too long and became a conversation, which, obviously they shouldn't be that way. They are just literally a point of information that should be made and then let the other member reply to you, and that it should finish then. So again, just something to think about for the future. But on the whole, fantastic. Lavinia, you were difficult to understand at first, but then we could really sort of hear you coming through. You did some fantastic challenges to points of information. You asked lots of points of information, which was also great. So well done on that, and a great summing up too. Connor, the last minute that you presented was your best minute. I think you relaxed and you got into it, and you just really sort of came alive, and you used your hands, and you just, body language was great. So well done on that time as well. For Maria from Queen's, obviously always a very enthusiastic presentation. So thank you for that. You bring a real energy to the well, I was going to say the floor, but you're on the floor, but we're watching you behind the camera. And Victor, I loved your introduction and your closing. It was, really, really nice and thing to do. And you have a very good presence in front of the camera as well. So moving on, obviously you made our life, the judges, a very difficult one, as always, to choose between you, but we have to make some choices. So firstly, the best debater goes to Maria from Queen's.
Thank you.
Where's the certificate? Gerdy, are you there?
Yes, I'm
No.
here.
Gerdy's not there.
So,
Okay.
yes, here I am.
Thank
So,
you.
Oh, yeah, there we are.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Maria.
Thank you.
Well done. And secondly, obviously we have a certificate for the best school in this debate. And we felt, as the three judges, that we have given this award to Queen's. Well done, Queen's.
Thank you.
Come on, everybody. Come on over here.
Okay, let's go get
Everyone. So, congratulations, everyone.
you.
That was really
Thank you.
brilliant. Thanks a lot. I will put that in right now. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
Great. Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.